Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be playing Rogue Shadow Priest Resto Druid versus Shadow Priest Monk Resto Shaman. I'll be doing commentary throughout the match so that you guys have a good understanding of what I'm trying to do and how I accomplish it. I move up close to sap the Monk before he moves in, and then I try to sap the Shaman, but I get knocked out by Earth Grab Totem, which puts me in a bad position. I vanish the root but then get rooted again, and I'm standing in front of the Monk, so I just cheap shot him. I then throw a kidney shot into the Shaman, but by this point the Monk's out of the stun and he just kind of gets away from me, so I turn around and throw another cheap shot into the Shaman and start dealing some damage to him. I attempt to blind the Shaman and move on to the Shadow Priest, who's now off stun DR, but one of the spirits come in and break my blind. A full blind into a sap here would have generated a lot of pressure, but unfortunately for us, things didn't work out. Though we did manage to get dispersion anyway, I do believe that's because Psyfiend was out reducing the healing by 50%, so the priest had a lot of pressure on him through that. And through all this commotion, the Shaman came off stun DR. Whenever the Shaman is off stun DR, it's important for me to lock him down and deal damage to him. By doing so, you keep a lot of pressure on the enemy team. It opens up a lot of opportunities. Like here the Monk overextends and my Shadow Priest lands a silence on the Shaman after my stun combo, which puts a lot of pressure on him, forcing him to trinket. I put some more damage into the Monk, which allows my Druid to get some breathing room. Then I run back over to the Shaman as fast as possible, wait stun DRs, stun him full, and score a kill. This next game I land a sap on the Shaman, then cheap shot the Shadow Priest, and kidney shot the Monk as he comes in. This kind of cross CC allows my teammates to follow up my sap with a Cyclone on the Shaman, which is a pretty solid opener. Though honestly, we don't seem to generate much pressure because this comp isn't about openers. It's about good consistent damage and harassing the enemy healer with stuns. Because while you're doing this, he's falling behind in healing on his teammates and himself because you're dealing damage to him obviously. This is what makes this comp shine. The Shadow Priest has really good cleave damage and single target damage. So when you converge on a target together, you do a lot of damage. And while you're converging on a healer together, he's still doing a lot of damage to the other teammates, which leaves them really low on HP when you go to switch to them. Be careful not to put yourself in situations like this though. I used my cheap shot for CC on the Shaman instead of going on the Shaman with my cheap shot and dealing damage to him. Just this simple slip up in CC pretty much made the enemy team recover. But it's alright, we had good damage going out and the Shaman's off DRs now, so I'm able to put a lot of pressure into him. As you can see, Pokemon's is standing right on top of us and the Shaman is forced to link, so that's good for us. I get hit with a leg sweep and kind of just hang out for a little bit, but I do manage to kick the Shaman on a heal once I come out of the stun, which is fantastic. Counter-Strike Totem is down, so I need to be a little bit careful. I wonder if I kill that on time. No, I'm too excited. I just let the Counter-Strike Totem chill while I damage the Shaman. Speaking of Shaman, he comes off DR once more, and we managed to just beat him down. I get incapacitated, but it doesn't matter. Pokemon's just had too much damage. This next clip is beautiful. I sap the Monk on the way up, then sap the Shaman. Cheap shot the Priest. I get incapacitated, the sap fades, but I shadow step sap a second after it fades to keep the CC chain going on the Shaman. I then kidney shot out of my sap. He drops a Spirit Link, but I kill it before anyone gets in. I then blind him and force his trinket. I continue to put damage into the Shadow Priest, but I'm aware that the Shaman is trying to cast and I'm floating really close to him. He has to fake a lot, the Priest disperses, but he manages to get his cast off. As soon as we got dispersion, I should have gone on to the Monk, but I didn't. It was a mistake that I made, but it's something that I noticed while watching the clips after the fact. We put the pressure on the Shaman once again through stuns, and I put a kidney shot into the Monk just to CC him. I see that the Priest is off DRs, and I go to put some pressure into him as well. I feel like this game I didn't play very well at all. I was just kind of running around stunning at random instead of connecting on a target and putting good damage into him while he's stunned. We land a silence on the Shaman and I try to follow it up with a stun, but I get rooted out of range. So honestly, this game we're just kind of getting by on the really good Shadow Priest damage. I'm not doing my job too well as a rogue. Though I did manage to successfully kick the Shaman there. He puts his Counter-Strike Totem down. I kill it right quick. I'm getting stunned and CC'd pretty well by the enemy team here, so the Shaman is able to recover. He had Aura Mastery anyway from being kicked, so there wasn't much that I could do outside of stunning him. I see that the Priest is low and I go to switch onto him. I throw a knife at the Fiend just in case it puts us in a bad spot. That healing reduction can sneak up on you, especially with big Monk damage. There's a silence on the Shaman here, and this is pretty much the game. I know for sure that we had enough damage, and there was a stun coming after that silence, so... I always try to start by sapping the monk on his way in, then sapping the shaman afterwards. This allows Pokemons to get his dots on the melee DPS without having to worry about being stunned or kicked or anything like that. It gives him free reign to start getting his damage out really quick, and as you can see, it pays off. Our druid lands a cyclone out of my sap, and I start putting some damage into the priest. Pokemon's already has so much damage going out, and we get Dispersion and Spirit Link straight away. I continue with the plan of harassing the shaman with stuns. Doing this makes the enemy team rot. Then, once the shaman is fully stun DR'd, I move on to the next weakest target, which is the Shadow Priest, who has no defensive cooldowns left. I manage to kick the shaman here, and after the kick, I try to follow it up with a blind, which he is forced to trinket. Now we're in a really good spot. The shaman has no trinket, he's coming off stun DRs, the priest has nothing. The shaman gets hit by a silence, and I know after the silence I'm going to stun the shaman. I get feared, but trinket it and stun the shaman. Start putting some damage into the priest, but I notice the counter-strike totem is down, so I peel off and kill it. I'm just floating around the shaman, hoping to land a kick on him at this point. I get stunned, and the shaman starts free casting. I'm trying to land a kick here, it's my only option. I'm continuing training the priest, and I do manage to land that kick. The shaman's taking a healthy amount of damage too, and just came off stun DRs. So I land a stun on him, and throw as much damage as possible into him, and land the kill. Well guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the commentary, and I hope that you found it educational, or at least helpful in some way. If you enjoy the content you see on this channel, and hope to see more, please do consider supporting it. Link is in the description. Until next time, I want you all to stay sneaky, and take care. Have a good day.